course creators, trainers, people that are trying to help bring transformation to people's lives. Listen, I want to help you. If you have tried for years to get your program out there, to get people to buy from you, to get people to purchase from you, and maybe you put blood, sweat, and tears into your program, maybe you poured your heart out into it, and nobody seems to buy it. Nobody seems to care what you're offering. You know, it can be easy to feel like a failure when your programs don't sell and to maybe give up. But the truth is, what you have inside of you is important to other people, and it can really help change people's lives. And here's what I want to do is I want to encourage you in this. A lot of the clients that I work with that have made 8 figures, 7 figures, they dealt with this exact same thing. I've dealt with this exact same thing. But there's one thing that separates the people that make a lot of money and those that don't when they come face to face with struggling to get their coaching program selling, struggling to get people to buy from them, is what they do next, what they do to move forward. And you might be surprised to learn what it is. See, what I see a lot of people do is they will, out of a desire to be tenacious, to be loyal, to have grit and determination, they will keep promoting the same program for 5 years without seeing a lot of results because they think it's just going to happen eventually. Unfortunately, while it's true, you need to be disciplined, you need to be tenacious, that mindset will keep you broke. The clients of mine that we work with that have made the most amount of money, they try something. If it's not getting the result they wanted, they adjust their niche just a little bit. They adjust their offer. They're not afraid to try something new. They're not afraid to try a different angle of promoting it. And I think this is one of the biggest things that stops course creators and trainers and coaches from getting the results they want is that they're scared of trying something new, or pride tells them, I'm going to stick with this thing until it works. That's called insanity. That's called stupidity. Not that you're stupid, but that's one of the worst possible things that you could ever do as a course creator or trainer is to keep beating a dead horse, trying to make the same idea that you came up with 5 years ago to work when you struggled to make it work for the last 5 years. Go back to the drawing board. Come up with maybe a new way of framing it. Come up with a new angle to reach people on. This is what the most successful coaches, the most successful trainers and authors and speakers do. And it makes them success. It's one of the number one things that people that fail actually judge them for. It's one of the biggest things. I see a lot of people, they're so prideful. I'm not going to change because it means that I gave up on my dream. It doesn't mean you gave up on your dream. It means that you were wise. It means that you actually did something instead of hoping that magic would just happen and results would just come in magically by the same thing that hasn't gotten you there, by the same bit. My friends, if your car wouldn't start and you just kept starting it and it was out of gas, and you just sat in the car for 5 years saying, one of these days, this car is going to start. My friends, that's what I see course creators and coaches doing. They're sitting in a car with an empty tank of gas, and they're just saying, one of these days, it's going to start. It's going to start. And they're faithful as all get out. You know, if you saw your neighbor doing that, you might. And then when you go over to the neighbor and try to help them with their car, and they're like, no. It's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen eventually. My friends, that's the mindset that I see a lot of course creators and coaches have. They get angry when somebody offers them a perspective like what I'm offering you right now. Maybe you just need to put a tank of gas into it. Adjust the headline a little bit. Adjust the copy. Adjust the angle. Maybe you need a new testimony in there. Maybe you need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe you missed something the first time. It doesn't make you a failure. But I see a lot of coaches, course creators, trainers, and authors, 5 to 10 years of failure Just like that person sitting in their car and it's not starting because it has an empty tank of gas, saying, I'm praying and hoping that one day it happens. Did you check the tank of gas? I don't need to check that. It's going to work. God told me it would work. I had a vision that it would work, my friends. That's stupidity. It really is. That's not how reality works. You're on planet Earth. And so on planet Earth, sometimes you look at, okay, maybe this didn't work out exactly how I thought it would. Let me try something, tweak it just a little bit. Let me adjust it just a little bit. And that's what I help coach people on. That's what I help people do with my coaching and my courses, to help you hone in on your offer. You might need to just try a new offer. You might need to try a new program. Maybe you've been trying to make a membership work. Memberships worked as a front-end offer like 6 years ago. They're not really working as well anymore. I'm just letting you know that. Now, running events to 6-week mini coaching programs is what's working really well with people. Maybe you're like, well, I'll do that after the membership takes off. No, my friends. Start. If something's not working, try something different. Don't be afraid to try something new. You might be surprised as to just how a tiny tweak to how you present your offer. Maybe you're not generating leads with an email list. In the last 2 years, generating an email list has been the fastest way that course creators and coaches can get clients. Before, you could just send cold traffic to an offer. Now it's not really working that way anymore. You got to cultivate and nurture the relationship. But I see coaches, trainers, and course creators saying, no, I had a vision of it working. It's going to work eventually. What if you just tried something different? Why are you I poured so much time into it, Jeremiah. I poured so much energy. I don't want to pour that much energy into it again and it not work. These are the things I hear all the time from people as the reason why they keep beating a dead horse, trying to make the old thing that hasn't taken off work for them. And are terrified to try something new. Whether it be pride, fear of losing time, they're just afraid of it not working out again. Their fear of failure defeats them. Or what if you just tried something new? You took a step of faith, whether it worked or not. The last thing didn't work out very well, and you tried something else out. That's what my friends, my clients who are making 8 figures have done. That got them there. And the people that I know that don't are still struggling 5 years later, complaining, coming up with reasons and excuses that they've convinced themselves about for why they can't. Choice is yours. What are you going to do?